This should be crazy, bro. I wish I could wait. Oh, can I? 1 minute of content to create short. Here we go. This dude is a complete psyop. So I just watched a few videos. Basically, if you watch this video from TPUSA, you'll see that it's so rehearsed. There's nothing organic at all about anything in the media at all anymore. It's completely scripted. Not that it wasn't before, but now it's to a point now where basically uh there's something called speaking to an audience, right? There, an audience can be varied by age, varied by demographic, varied by experience, certain focus, right? And discipline. That can be an audience, right? You're speaking to these people. So a lot of times to get most things will be written in a lower reading demographic or a reading bracket, right? So when you see these people like JD Vance uh, do speeches like this, you see how rehearsed and performative it is. It's, not like I said, not that it wasn't before, but at least like they had to fool people. Now it's like everything is a layer. Like now the jig is up. Like the jig is up. You can't, everyone knows about conspiracies. Everyone knows about, these plots right behind the scenes. But so if you're aware of what's going on, you can just look at a person like this, and this dude has no. You can just see it. Everything is so scripted and rehearsed, but not for good reason. It used to be at least like, for possibly like what was the best interest for the country. Now it's like just that complete chaos. There's really nothing. You know, there's no soul in this anymore. There's no feeling. Everything is devoid of feeling. So you know, a person like JD Vance is going to say the right things on paper, but is really saying nothing at the same time. So like that's kind of what scares me about all this stuff. I'm not scared about it, but you know, it's like it keeps me on my toes, man. Because a person like this, like, what is the future of this? You know, who, what does it matter at a certain point? What's happening? Who cares? That's where I'm at right now because it's like, dude, things are so far fucked off to where it's like, I don't know, you can only get so low. But now Trump's talking about all this nuclear stuff or whatever. I'm just like, bro, what? Why? Like, it seems like we've got to a point in humanity to where we can maintain this condition, right? Instead of using all the effort, right, collectively and globally to unify and uplift totally, certain people have designed a framework for us that is beyond like our control, the little that we did have. So I don't know. It's just the future seems bleak. It seems soulless. There's nothing, what all this environmental stuff that people like got on the bandwagon for years. Oh, we gotta fix the climate, save the climate, just to build data centers to surveil you. Like that's satanic, bro. Whatever way you want to take it, That's it's in that realm of satanic, something in that nature, dark and devious. There's nothing good about this. To you know, nothing ever benefits humanity like wholly. Nothing ever uplifts the people wholly. It's always conditional. It's always, you know, something else, a trick involved in it. And I don't know if that's our nature at a broad scale, but it's like, dude, the last chance people had to like, or what they thought they had with Trump, it's just now just complete garbage. Just it's a wash. All these things, and now it's even more devious that it's turned out to just be completely contrived. At least for a while, you thought there was a chance with this guy. At least you thought maybe for a second that he's gonna release the files, right? He's gonna do something. He's not gonna do shit. That's the whole point, to aggregate your energy, all the energy, into this person, the sole focus. At that point, it's too late. You already fucked off because you gave him a chance instead of believing in yourself and not taking shit and not standing for it. You know, people had to become complacent at some point and en masse. I don't know where you can pinpoint this to, but like, bro, something had to be severely lacking or maniacally like designed that way. So I'm left perplexed. Like, you know, so I watched this whole thing play out. It's a script, bro. If you can't see through this at this point, man, like there is no hope. If you can be presented with these angles of thought and just continue to believe the delusion, man. Like these people, you think this dude gives a shit? How long did you know who JD Vance was? You know, a few years, and you want him to run the country? Like, they focus on every little position except what really matters. What really will bring the shit down. You know, that's how you know it's a joke. They'll flirt with these things and give you tidbits of information, tidbits here, whatever, to appease you. Because they know exactly what they're doing. You know? So if these people know exactly what they're doing, what makes you think that they're going to give up? So it's like, but the only way is if you consent, if you engage in the products, if you do this. And I know it's difficult, but that's the only way you can, defeat people like this system or whatever people want to call this that we live in. But I wish in a perfect world we could just come together and help each other be the best that we can be. But instead we, put these people up, but they're not people. Like these are at some point you give yourself to this, right? Like a rock star, you see a rock star, give it his all, right? Put himself out there in front of the public and, give his best, saying put it down for the love of it, right? But then there's others who, play different games, right? Where they realize their position they're in and they're going to be a billboard, a brand, a vessel for other things. And the more that becomes disproportionate from the original like focus of the energy, the more untrue everything is. So a person like JD Vance is like complete manufactured. They know how to do this. It's a formula, dude. And there's a lot of people willing to, do this and be like, yeah, I'll be a JD Vance. Sure. Yeah, just give me a whole fake life story. Give me a whole, career path. I'll do it. The fuck? So people like that, it's like a sellout. So JD Vance is just a big sellout. But you got to listen to this guy because it's like he's going to get pushed up to be president. Unless Trump, runs for a third term. If Trump runs for a third term and people bite that, then we might have real problems. Then we might be talking about this fake messiah. Because that's another issue. There's all the stuff watched some Ben Shapiro And I was like, wow, this, at some point it's like, who cares? Like, why do we have to believe in your God? At some level, it's like, I, I don't want to believe in your God. Who cares? Why does it matter? So we have this very small group of people, even Christians. These Christians, very, there it's a lot of people, but at the same time, it's like how many people really are Christians? That actually believe to themselves and talk to themselves. I'm a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Without having any slight, I'm talking about the main conception of what people think Christian is. You know, I'm sure there's some fakers, there's some this and that. So if you remove that number, if you could point to that person and say, hey, absent of all these, uh, you know, roadblocks with, whether it's your family who is Christian or whatever, any religion you're in, if I weren't forced to believe this, or if this wasn't the only thought process around me, would I believe this? Until you've thought at least about that, you're kind of just like a sheep, a herd. So we have millions of people just kind of just going along. Then when you come down to it, bro, these people believe in a fantasy fairy tale, little land. And who the fuck cares about, it's beyond so many things. It's beyond, like, once you whittle it down, it's like, okay, yeah, you believe in a fairy tale book that tells you certain people are like chosen. That off rip is fundamentally flawed. And there's enough time that has passed, but really not a lot of time has passed. People want to say, oh, 2,000 years ago, it was a long time. It really is not. How many days wasted? How many, days languished? How many days of nothing have happened in this planet, right? With a lot of people. So 2,000 years really isn't a long time. Let's say average lifespan is 80 years, right? Just round it to 100. So for every two people, you could say, hey, 50 years, right? So these two people, bro, it's not a long time. That flies by. 100 years flies by. 200 years flies by. If you had to live and see through it, the shit would probably fly by. But no, we have finite little blips of time that we're able to witness whatever's happening on this plane. So I don't really pay too much attention to this JD Vance type people, but something weird is happening, and I don't buy any of it. If you were, but if you're into these theories and this different outlook on the world, you already know what's going on. Like, and that's more disappointing because I thought it would be like getting crazier or cooler. No, it's not. They just keep shilling out the same people, same type of things. They have millions of people to pick from, And now, this. How long have they had the AI? How long have they been flirting with this technology, right? Who knows if this person doesn't have a chip inside his brain? Person like Biden. Look at Biden, how, he was all glitched out and stuff, and all these glitches you see. What have they been experimenting with this stuff for years in front of you and just seeing how you react to it? Like the NBA guy. There was a video of a guy, he's like a commentator, a former basketball player, and this dude straight MK Ultra glitched out. And he was not moving. There was no like peripheral movements. There's no any type of movement. Like a person is dead, they're dead because there's no movement. Certain things that move, the slight subtleties of a person's nuance, right? You cannot, if your blood is pumping, that's happening. Whether it's micro thing, whatever. This dude is stone dead, and someone else is like, adjusting his earpiece and stuff like that. So it's like for like a minute, and they kept going back to him and whatever. Like, what have they been fucking with these people, man? Putting chips in brains and shit, and like you're just testing out robots. So who knows, man? I don't know. All I do know is like this shit is fake. It's complete fake. JD Vance, total synthetic, reptoid. There's no question. There's no question whatsoever. I just wanted to like rant about this because I don't like too many people. I thought people would really be catching on, right? But they've done enough suppression on the internet and enough framing to no one knows what's real at this point. No one knows what's real at this point, bro. Mark Russell, bro, you gotta. Maybe you need to get on the pipe, bro. That's what I think needs to happen, bro. Because like, what have I said that's not facts on point? Like, what do you mean? I think I need another hit, bro. I need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to crank it up, bro. But not for real. This is a fake fantasy. Uh, yeah. So like, the people that run the world believe in like messianic cults. Just understand that. The people that govern laws believe in end times messianic cults and prophecies and fantasy books. And I believe in some type of creator, some type of God. There is an energy, uh, you know, the energy expressed in this planet is too immense, just one human enough. The stupidest human. There's enough shit going on in that person's like being that is divine at some level, right? These perfect structures, these perfect differentials, right? One receives, one takes. Something absorbs, some things, leak. I don't know. Pressures, all these different things. It's too, and it could be accident, right? But what a crazy accident. And at some point we're sitting here like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna eat some food and it's good. Like I'm gonna eat some tasty treats. That there's a whole industry specifically designed to give you that gummy treat. Like, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Is it cool or is it just us toiling as humans? So I don't know, but I'm getting sick of these people like JD Vance, bro. I'm really getting sick of JD Vance, man. It's like how many more fucking robotic synthoids can they hoist in front of us before we just go insane, bro? But it's crazy how they've designed all this, to catch. They catch every mistake. They catch every, you know, um, they'll design the maybe not design the thought process, but they'll bait you into like thought processes, right? And bunch them into like a category, and then spend long times analyzing that category, and then now framing that category in a certain way, and then already thinking about this like all these different ways. Okay, yeah, now we can attack that person. So when this person reacts this way, we've already calculated all these variables because all this information. There's only so much information that people can put out, right? And absorb. So if you dominate the information, you can control these niche pockets. So when these niche pockets play into your game, then you can just catch that slack and tighten it up. And that's why I honestly think Trump and everything about Trump, it was designed and calculated. Like I knew literally, like that's what I'm saying. I'm disappointed at how stupid this shit is. Like we're really that dumb again, or is the whole thing rigged to such a degree that like no matter what you do, no matter who people vote for, this is the script that plays out. I'm honestly more on that side because of how perfectly things play out. So like, in my opinion, this whole Charlie Kirk thing, they whacked this dude. Or something happened. This is not natural normal. There's nothing natural or normal about anything that has happened preceding the death of this individual. Nothing. There's not one thing that's makes sense. We've heard nothing about the guy who allegedly did it, but everyone and their mother has come out to make, statements about certain political parties or whatever, like certain groups of people. What if it's all designed that way, man? You go back to Ronald Reagan and all these things when they started militarizing police, these Patriot Acts, in the early 90s, or I think like the mid '90s, they started to develop these um, government or like military um, like releases where they talked about how the new enemy and the new uh, foe now is going to be homegrown terrorists and homegrown militants, right? That believe in Christianity and believe in nationalism and all this stuff, right? So they pegged all these people. They've been researching this, but it's like now it's the but really they'll take any demographic. They'll take any demographic and use you for whatever it is, what's fitting. If you had all the puzzle pieces, right, or as many puzzle pieces as you could, yeah, it'd be easy to like, oh, pin him off on him or make him mad at him or, you know, get these people mad at them or infiltrate this group of people because you know both sides. So it's like this dance of powers, you know? It just makes me sad that like people suck that bad. Like we literally, not we, but people in general are such at a low level to where that like these energies proliferate. Like the good energy isn't enough to. It is enough because because the evil has to operate in darkness, right? If too much evil is done in public, different things happen. So you can't really do all these things in mass and of evil. Evil has to cower and hide in the shadows, essentially, till the right time, take advantage of you. You know, do things discreetly, secretively, up against your will, right? Manipulation. Those things are more evil, more dark art type things. So you have to be aware of these people. Really, like, I mean, shit, if you follow your own religions, they tell you not to, like, worship idols and shit. So, like, putting faith in any man is really, you should analyze that a second time, that choice, right? To look at a person like J.D. Vance and have faith that he's going to fix it. He's going to fix nothing. Trump has fixed nothing. These people have fixed nothing. Like, and at some level, like, you can just watch, you know what I'm saying, and know this, but at some level, it's like, what the fuck, dude? So I have to get on here and just ramble. Because it's like, dude, like, people really just see this happening and, like, just blindly, oh, yeah, TP USA, man, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a scripted psyop. Like, bruh. And just because now we have the internet doesn't mean that, the internet is just a hyper reality. It's even deeper. You have to be even more, scrupulous with how you collect information or whatever. Because the internet, is multi-layered now. So it's like, yeah, oh, it's real because I saw it. No, it's not. Not essentially. And you can do a lot, even just faking things with people. Narrative builders or whatever, these people out there, you get a conglomerate of people, a little target group of people to do a skit or something, right? So take the whole skit thing and make it into a coordinated effort, a coordinated plot to achieve some goal, right? You don't know what's real or not, how it's designed, because we're all watching it. But then at the same time, it's like, if we're all watching it anyway. So we're all becoming aware of this knowledge, this information. Like Charlie Kirk dying is like a sacrifice. So with that sacrifice, regardless of what you thought about it, everyone thought about it. What if everyone thought to be better to their neighbors? What if everyone thought at one time to donate to a charity that doesn't steal from the charity and actually, spends every dollar on people with proof? What about that? What about if everyone did that? What about if every person looked to and just did one act of kindness in mass right now? The whole world in accordance. For that brief moment, there would be no, or at least reduced ills. But no, they want to manipulate us and kill people and allow it to, be seen everywhere and be the talk of the world. because they do blood sacrifices and stuff and weird stuff. I'm not into it. Bro, I mean, how can the Deep Waters says, how can the Democrats reject a clean bill? Is it a clean bill? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to knock it. I haven't read it. But bro, these people just take advantage of us, bro. Like, there should be, like, the fact that this is happening tells you what's happening and how much these people care. What do they care about, bro? So it's like, I'm beyond like what's in the substance of the bill at this point. That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing but opening the government, he says. So what's so hard about that? What is there to fight about that? It's not something you can't overturn in like another year. So that's where I'm like hung up. I don't believe in the politics, bro. They're both these people on both sides are complete reptilian psyops. There's nothing else about it. So I try not to get too hooked up on, the Democrats did this. That's the game they're playing on us. It's 2 feet kicking a ball to one goal, to one end. But I hope they do something, and because these food stamps are gonna get shut off, and people are gonna go fucking ape shit, bro. Like, that's another thing too. This food stamp stuff. If something really happens tomorrow over this food stamp situation, bro, it's like you had to plan this. It's like some puppeteer planning all this. Oh yeah, let's cut the food stamps off and get them in an argument about food stamps. Our government pisses money and just bleeds money. So all this waste and spending, we can't just waste some more on people. Just let them slide for a little bit. Instead, they want chaos. They want that tension. This energy is harvesting. They harvest energy off of this. So to build these people and hold these people in a tense state like that, right? It's like a rubber band, like it just building tension, then final release. What is that release, and what is that the purpose of that? Good for you, brother. That's a blessing, man. I pray you don't get another hurricane. But if you're prepping, though, you should be good for a little bit, which is good. That's important. And another thing too, all right, let's say nothing happens tomorrow, right? No one steals anything, no one does anything bad, right? But let's say someone does, right? Let's say shit does kind of get crazy for a sec. Bro, it only takes a couple seconds, one day for this shit to set a tone and precedent. Be like, oh shit, people are on that type of timing. Now the stores start closing, operating like COVID level things, Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Oh, everyone's got to have a digital ID to come in the store, or else it's not, I don't know who you are, so I can't hold you accountable. Bro, it makes sense. So I pray to God nothing happens tomorrow. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It's like all these things coalescing at one point are not good. So people want to, that's why I don't get political. I get political, but in a different way. I understand that this is a game. This is a fucking complete joke. Hurting masses, hurting sheep. It's sick at some level. It honestly is like, if you really, I don't know, my whole thing, I'm not there, I can't say for certain, but I can say that my outlook, my connotation of all of this is that, like, once you get behind that door and realize what it is, like, my analogy for it is like a job, right? Like, you work at a pizza place. There's some people that wash their hands all the time. There's some people who don't. There's some people who put too much topping on the pizza. There's some people who steal from the restaurant, right? Some people take breaks too long. Some people do this, do that, right? Every place.
inescapable. Like, I will bet money on that. I'm very confident in that fact. So what's different about these people? You know, and we hold these people in like, oh, it's like a institution or something. Like it's something, right? Like it deserves respect. I'm not saying that you shouldn't respect people, but these institutions, these people in high levels, like they they rely on the fact that we give them that respect, that we hold them to this echelon or this standard, right? Or this, you know, level of reverence. So, you know, once you can see outside that a little bit, you can understand like, oh wow, like yeah, so you know, why do we trust in these people this much? Why do we give these people enough power to do these things that they do? Because if everyone just fucking freaked out tomorrow, but knew what to do afterwards, that's the biggest problem. All this chaos, they know what they're going to do after, right? If you hold the resources before, you hold the power, you hold the structures in place before something crazy happens. When something crazy happens, if you know, influenced this crazy in a specific way or created the reason people went crazy for a second, you could then therefore catch the slack. Like I said before, you know, just gently, you know, and direct this energy. And that's what I think is happening. So yeah, tomorrow might go crazy. People might go crazy tomorrow. Oh, my SNAP benefits are gone. Okay, shit, bro. It's fucked up, but please don't, you know, go robbing people. That's exactly what they want. They want you to go out and go crazy, bro, because they know exactly what they're going to do afterwards by pigeonholing you. You know, there's only so many options. We're kind of simple. There's only a certain amount of options in this plane of existence sometimes. So what happens when you fuck with people like that, bro? When you start toying with people's like daily livings like that, right or wrong, right? There's going to be a reaction, a response. They know that. So that's why, you know, I pray to God nothing happens. But bro, like people, like they want people to go unstable, bro. They want people to be unstable, so because they have the solution. And I keep going back to JD Vance. So I just saw a video of him at Turning Point. I'm like, bro, like, what is going on? Like with the shit, bro, like, and how they do all this, like with the Charlie Kirk situation, like, yeah, he might be dead. You know, people think he's dead or not. It doesn't matter. There's literally all the conspiracy that matters after what happened have little relevance unless they directly like do a death blow to someone's like credibility or reputation, right? But you know, they're just wasting energy. You don't think they've researched for years all the metadata of YouTube to see and analyze how these people comb through data, right? On the back end, they're watching to see, okay, so if we put these breadcrumbs in this or only promote these certain videos, and you know, people will only see this, but these inconsistencies are already planted. These breadcrumbs, these, you know, contradictions are already scripted. They know they know the fuck ups. They engineer the fuck up so that, you know, they have an answer for everything, and then they can keep you going deeper, right? Next thing you know, you're in the same place they wanted you to go anyway, but you've been in this rabbit hole for so long that, you know, because they've already curated this, they've already, you know, like put enough code data of useless slop to expend your energies in the, you know, and you might be right, but they've designed that hole for you to see how far you can go. They know how far this hole goes. You don't. So to, you know, to a certain degree, you got to chill out a little bit, because it's like if you know, there's the infinite rabbit hole for you to follow, right or wrong. You might be totally correct. These things have credence. And that, you know, and at some point, I think these people are that shameless. You know, they're that shameless that they know. They know it doesn't matter, dude. They don't know, okay? It doesn't matter what you fucking think, dude. The momentum is rolling this way. What are you going to do? That's what I think it is. But now it's just like, bro, like, at least try to, like fool me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bro, at least try to fucking dupe me. But they put these people out like these synthetic fucking reptiles, dude. And believe in mystic prophecies and shit, bro. Like, bro, that's the craziest thing. It's like, yeah, these people might be so like smart, whatever, go to the school or whatever, you know, go do all this stuff, right? But like, you really just believe like some pages and shit, bro, some books and stuff your dad told you about this stuff, and now you know what I'm saying, this is what it is. I'm a Christian Zionist. I'm a Muslim. Like, just because someone said so. And I get it, you know, like, but at some level, it's like these people just play off of death. Because, so the same people that hold such like high reverence for life and, you know, religion and doing the right thing every day and practicing laws and doing all these things and doing all these little things to please God, will then just eliminate life, just completely disregard life because you don't believe in a specific thing. So the creation, you know, just because it doesn't, you don't believe it, now you have to die or be punished or something like that. No, I don't. I really don't think that's how. I think that's a slavery. Because there's no way that the creator of this existence was, you know, would toil in that. I don't think so. At least I'm like, it sounds. I don't know. All these religions, some degree, require that leap of faith to where it's like, okay, yeah, okay, people exist and make up stories, dude. Like, it's that simple. And some people don't forget stories. Some people hold the stories forever and never forget, and that's their favorite story. And that's the situation I think we're in right now. And I said earlier, like thousands of years isn't a long time. It is to us. But if you really sit and think about it, if you live 80 years, dude, that's a decent chunk of time. You know, there's thousands and millions of hours being lived. Billion, trillions of hours, infinite hours being lived by all of us, right? At once. So many things happening. So if you think about it, that's really not that long. Because we're all going through year after year. But so many things are being experienced. So many things are happening, you know, during that time. And we only get to savor a small amount of those stories. And then people, you know, people who have influence and power recite those stories. So is J.D. Vance the ultimate, you know, intellectual? No. But he's a player in the game right now. He'll be written about. If his IQ was 80 and he was in that position at this moment, he would be, doesn't matter. All those things cease. All those small nuances that make us who we are and that keep the ball rolling in the world, you know, fun and exciting, right? These different degrees of things, you know, but in the ultimate end, it doesn't matter how smart you are. If you're moving and shaking at the moment, you'll be written about. And they know that.
just be crazy, bro. I just don't get it. Like, it's not even debatable. If you believe in the two-party system, you are lost. I'm sorry. You have to stop having faith in these people. That's the first step. They're not coming to help you or save you. Look at that. I thought Biden was a disgrace. I thought Biden was it's a joke. Like, it's a joke. Like, and that's where I'm like, okay, COVID was crazy. Everyone's, following lines and wearing, rags and shit over their face, and just total delusion, like total psyop. Like, if you didn't see it, I get it. Not everyone is like on the deep end, but like, dude, in 3 days they have whole decals and store plannings, right, already set out in place. Like, something's going on with this shit, bro. Something's going on here. Something's going on. Okay, it takes thought process to do that. So you're telling me this little virus came out, and then now, okay, yeah, we have a whole flow of floor plan and all this thought out and designed with decals and all, ready to rock, ready to go. Giant Eagle, going to Giant Eagle. No, script, psyop. And now Trump is ultimate. Biden, he's just a corpse essentially. Like, dude is out here just barely making it, and that's like a slap in the face to everyone in America and the world. Really, we got this bumbling buffoon just paraded in front of the world as our leader. Not that Trump was better, but this time it's like another blow. Because Trump's doing nothing to help or really shake it up like he should or like he promised. And so it's like, bro, all those people, you just got their hopes up, bro. For nothing. To fuck them. That's why I just, it's like I get sick. It makes me sick. That's why I gotta, just let it out sometimes. But, like, I don't know. People need to get like more, just, self-sufficient, man. You can't believe in these lies, man. These people just be straight cap liars, man. My views went down. Probably because I was talking about Trump, dude. They got that Palantir shit now. Probably he's spitting. He's speaking too truthfully, man. I used to worry about that stuff until today. Because it's like, what does it matter anymore? What does it matter, dude? Who cares? Like, bro, yeah, they've been surveilling us. Like, okay, now they can just get away with it. But the sad thing is, it's like they push it so hard that it's like you have to, they make it ubiquitous. They give you the phones, they push this technology, right? Make sure the phones eventually are just so central in our lives, right? That you can't get around it. So once it's at that point, okay, now we can fuck with these people, man. Now, we got a microphone in your and a GPS super tracker. I can see if you're sleeping. I can tell if you're in a car and sleeping in the car. If you're the passenger, driver, your routines. Okay, now we're gonna plug that into a quantum computer that we don't really understand what's happening on like a physics level, essentially. Yeah, we don't really know what's happening at some point, but it's whatever. Yeah, like it just, it keeps answering correctly. It's working, right? Yeah, we're just gonna plug that into all the data that we've ever collected on the internet and ask it questions and make it control stuff because it's smart. Nah, sounds like Satan, dude. Sounds like hell. So, yeah, these people are just crazy, bro. So JD Vance is just Big Peter Thiel. He's a a shill, he's a grifter. I'm not surprised, but it's like, dude, I don't know, man. But I just can't handle this stuff anymore, man. Just like, especially this going back to Charlie Kirk, this whole shilling, right? Like playing off his death and stuff. Like, bro, there's no way you can tell me that it's natural. What? Okay, like you what? I don't know, man. You can go watch all of it. You can go watch the memorial, whatever. It's like something is eerie about that to me. Wife looking possessed. Wifey looking possessed. Like, I'm like, man, she wearing contacts? She has this like weird like glow in her eye, but not in a good way. It's like something is wrong. Something is taking over. And JD Vance kind of looking pretty reptilian as well. Just very unimpressive individual. That's the thing. It's like I said before, I'm like, bro, like why don't at least make him good, dude? Like, let's get like a bad bitch up there, like, badder than that Leon Luna girl, right? She's all right, but put some real smoke shows up there, bro, to deceive me at least. Like, quit putting these fucking weirdos and shit on the front, and try it a little harder. Make it like look like you're trying. But I watched this and I'm like, man, this guy is a script. These kids are asking him questions, and you don't think he's been prepped and already briefed on all those questions and talking points? You see the delay between the question and answer very small. Oh yes, well, absolutely. Well, Palantir, yeah, they can, they're a private company, and yeah, they might not necessarily do things that we like, but they also help. Okay, well, what the fuck? Like, no, dude, nah, dude, I'm not down with it. Do you think Israel had anything to do with Charlie Kirk? Absolutely not. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm ushering in the Antichrist, Mashiach. So, yeah. But, however, we plan to do a lot of things with the economy, and this AI will, drastically improve everything about society once we can surveil everything that you do fully with your consent. The shitty thing about AI is you train it. Like, it's only as smart as you are. Sounds kind of devilish. Sounds kind of satanic. Everything I know about or have heard about the devil is that, it's only what you give it. Essentially, that's what it sounds like. If you give into it, if you, sign yourself over to it and submit to it, open that door to it, it has lots of power, but only as much as you give it. Sounds kind of, weak. If you need me, you shouldn't need me. You should just be able to exalt that power, which clearly is not. Like I said, these things operate in the dark and the shadows. But in front of your face, though, these people probably are literally some type of holographic, like cryptoids, literal shapeshifters. Like, I had a dream like 15 years ago about there was like a crack in the atmosphere, but in my dream I woke up and went downstairs, and sat on the couch with my mother and watched TV, right? Where we're looking at this television, and everything was to the scale of like that, like where I actually was living. And so we turned the TV on, and then the news report was about, um, something about all these celebrities, right, have died. Something about all the celebrities in the world dying. So then in the dream, I'm going in there. So now I like hyper zoom into this place where this news report's happening, and I'm looking at up, and there's like a crack in the sky, like an atmosphere, like a curved crack, and there's a moon and a star next to the moon, and all the celebrities in the world turned to this orange jelly, and I just it was like an end of the world type type dream. Shit was crazy, bro. Quit the weed, dude. Why not, dude? Why you want me to quit that, dude? I don't smoke weed, bro. We don't do that, bro. It's like JD Vance probably does that type of stuff, dude. Like, I think JD Vance is definitely hitting something, dude. Gotta be, bro. Imagine that pressure, though. If you're like a normal person, how crazy that would be. Like, to be the vice president and just be like a total wreck. But we never see it, That'd be insane. Just shit faced behind closed doors every second. Just fueled by stimulants. A guinea pig. It'd be sick. Because, like, they're not going to let the president or, like, someone of higher stature, like, go out like that. You know what I'm saying? They got something for them. Oh, if the perks make you feel good and give that speech, man, you already got it. Or maybe something a little heavier. And that's just, you're too late now. Or they just get rid of you. Put a Neuralink chip in your head. Once they give you that Neuralink, just start, playing with you. See if it works. If not, you just like had diabetes attack or something. 40 what's 45, 47, Doug? Original circus, man. What's that mean? I saw the relevance with the Mr. Kirk situation with the 47. Oh, he was the 45th and 47th president. He had 48 as well, yeah. I'm familiar with the mathematics of the geometric system, which is pretty crazy. But but see, like I said earlier, I used to be, those things used to intrigue me heavily, right? But then again, if like you and I know that system, right? We know the relevance, right? So maybe in my opinion, maybe at some point that was relevant a lot. Or maybe it is relevant completely for like the whole ritual, the whole spell, the spell work, right? To like present the number or present the, things to encode the gematria or whatever into the event, right? I thought about that. But then it's like, okay, again, that is a system. So there's someone at the top who knows the whole cheat code system, knows all of it, and puts it into practice on a high level. So once that's done, what does it matter if we know it? And is that even a real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or is it all designed to be a mockery of us in some degree? Like, you can't do anything about it. We're going to encode it in front of your face. Or does is that necessary for the ritual? That's where I'm puzzled. because I believe that, like, you know, like I said, I used to think that maybe had more relevance, but now it's like, okay, it's hybrid layers. It's multifaceted, more multifaceted. Like they're gonna give you all the gematria. It's gonna add up and be, they're gonna put that right in front of your face now. They have to, because the newbies are, being uh becoming more accustomed to this thought process, right? That's why they're blasting conspiracies and making conspiracies, things in the algorithm, inseminating the algorithm with, conspiracy culture. You were not popular for saying this back in the day. When I was in school, in high school, I had watched Zeitgeist. I would, and I also like had other alternative from a child. Like people around me were speaking about aliens and stuff, and all these things. Right, I had family that was really into the government. Right, those things, processes and stuff, and their question, whatever military type stuff. So I'm like, all right, dude. Like, so I knew about alternative like thought processes of life, I guess, from a young age. But like, I watched Zeitgeist, and I'm like, okay, shit, this is insane, bro. Like, the world's a lie. Totally cracked the framework. But then that kind of just led to the whole thing. But like, were those just implants? Like, Zeitgeist was funded by a bunch. If you look that up, who funded that? It's not like awesome people who just they have agenda. But the information, some of it was relevant, but like I said, a lot of these rabbit holes are a lot of fucked up shit is happening, man, in the world. And not everything is planned, but most things are. If someone slips and falls, man, depending on who it is and what happens, there's going to be different stories. And who saw it, if someone saw it, there's going to be different opinions about what happens. you, you get in a car accident. Oh, I'm hurt. You're really not that hurt. Okay, you can get that checked, right? That's just one example. How hurt are you? Or do you not have insurance and you hit someone and they just like, oh, it's all good, dude. Like, I'm good. I don't have insurance either. And no cops there. Are you going to make a big fuss and call the cops? No, you're not. Everything is conditional. People start saying the same thing too much. I question all of them. That's why, I'm not agnostic. I believe in something after 100% because I am now. You are now. We are now. So if there's a now, it has to be a counter. There has to be an equal opposite, right? Which might be the vacuum of death and the thereafter. But there are things happening in a vacuum. Life doesn't stop in a vacuum. Maybe everything here can cease in a vacuum, but the spirit, the consciousness, something deep about it. Through all the grit and grime and like evolution and the little homes we make for ourselves and stuff. The real sauce is the grit and grime. Plants grow in soil. Soil is death. It's very rich. It's full of nutrients. Soil is decay, full of nutrients, full of nitrates, full of, things that can be fed off of to make it new. So I'm in the more like recycling type thing. Like maybe it's not maybe we're not personalized. Maybe we have to be living to personalize our souls. Because death, maybe we homogenize again. Maybe, go back to the infinite energy and meld back into what that is. Maybe here we can differentiate. And that's what is beautiful about this life. Unless when you sell yourself out to serve messianic fantasy prophecies that men create, other human beings create and revise, and I was gonna talk about Ben Shapiro as well. I watched a podcast with him, and I'm just like, bro, like, imagine like believing that other people needed to believe what you believe in order not only for their salvation, for the entire world's prosperity. That has nothing to do to benefit them. Instead, makes them like subservient to you because you're, so exalted by God. Like, I don't know, man. That's what turns me off to all these religions. Maybe we have to, give reverence and pay respect to this God, right? The source, something. But there's something so phony and like fabricated about all of them. So people like JD Vance will write books about, things to catch at certain generalized like stereotypes and write books. So he kind of like a Not Without My Father Obama situation. Like he's writing his book, right? Whatever his little hillbilly situation or whatever that was.